Have you ever deeply contemplated the dualism that dominates the Western media's approach to the Israel-Palestine conflict? Broadly speaking, Western media often highlights the humanitarian crisis faced by the Palestinian community. The coverage focuses on heart-wrenching conditions, ranging from casualties, starvation, displacement, to crumbling infrastructure. All of this is presented as an urgent issue aimed at building concern for human rights. However, on the flip side, the seemingly contradictory narrative does not align with human rights rhetoric. For instance, the United States has repeatedly used its veto power in the UN Security Council to block resolutions calling for an end to aggression against Palestine. Meanwhile, President Biden has proposed a budget request of nearly $106 billion to Congress to support conflicts in Ukraine, Israel, and threats in the South China Sea. Given these facts, can we fully trust that the humanitarian rhetoric promoted by Western media is truly reflected in actual policies? Free speech in the United States is a fundamental principle that defines the country as a democracy. However, the implementation of free speech encounters complications when dealing with highly sensitive issues, such as the Israel-Palestine conflict. Although the United States is known for ardently supporting free speech, there seems to be a tendency to control or limit narratives. This is particularly true if a narrative is perceived as potentially damaging to the image or policies of an allied nation. This creates a paradox. On one hand, free speech is considered a cornerstone of democracy, but on the other, it is often constrained by social and political pressures. In this context, public figures and celebrities often find themselves in a difficult position. Ben Shapiro, as a political commentator, is known for his boldness in making firm and controversial statements. However, he also has to consider how these statements will be received by the public, as well as their impact on his reputation or career. Celebrities like Justin Bieber and Gal Gadot, who take positions in support of Israel, often find themselves in a more secure situation reputation-wise, even experiencing a boost in popularity. On the other hand, celebrities like Gigi Hadid, who show sympathy towards Palestine, often face more extreme negative reactions, including threats to personal safety and even death threats. This raises an important question. Is free speech in the United States truly neutral, or is it influenced by social and political norms? Is there a societal bias that makes certain opinions more acceptable while others are considered more dangerous? These questions knock to us how free speech, as a fundamental pillar of democracy, can be limited or shaped by existing social and political pressures. Media organizations also play a significant role in shaping public narrative. Particularly those funded by the U.S. often opt for ambiguous or nonspecific language when discussing the suffering in Palestine. On the other hand, they are quicker to condemn certain groups with the label of terrorism, especially if those groups hail from predominantly Muslim countries. For instance, about a year ago, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen labeled Russia's missile and drone attacks on electrical stations and other infrastructure in Ukraine as pure acts of terror, which equates to war crimes. In contrast, the same rhetoric is seldom applied to similar actions carried out by Israel in Gaza. A glaring example that illustrates the phenomenon of double standards in the expression of empathy is an incident where the social media platform Instagram controversially labeled a Palestinian user's bio as terrorist. Although Instagram later apologized and stated that the incident was the result of a bug or technical error, it still raises serious questions about ethics and fairness in the management of information by large platforms. The main challenge faced is to filter available information and distinguish facts from opinions to form a more objective and informed perspective. Double standards, censorship, and social norm pressures all play a role in shaping public perceptions and influencing societal attitudes. As viewers or readers, we have a responsibility not only to absorb the information given to us, but also to question and critically evaluate the sources and content of that information. Moreover, as human beings, we must have a sense of humanity in seeing and understanding the conflict. Thank you for your attention and watching for understanding this issue in more depth. Let us together contribute to creating a more peaceful and harmonious world through broader understanding and mutual respect for one another as fellow human beings.